Alright guys, so right now here in snowy Salzburg of Austria, wife and I are in this quaint little uh, outlet having some food. So she just asked me to go and grab something from the car. But before I accomplish my mission, so that's my car and this is the road. Traction control off. So guys, this is the reality of living in a snow country. All right, every day when you come out, you leave the house, if you want to go for a drive, you know, drive your car out, you have to first clear all the snow, not just from your windscreen. Okay, the windscreen is just the start. You also have to clear all the snow from the roof, because somebody told me that when you're driving on the highway, there's a chance that, you know, all the snow on the roof can freeze together, form a large chunk of ice, and it actually can fly off, becoming a hazard for other vehicles. So yeah, you don't just have to clear your windscreen, you have to clear the roof as well. Okay guys, I'm driving from I just departed Salzburg, now on our way to Hallstatt. Okay, so it's wintry conditions out here. Wife, can you take the phone out and show the outside? Yeah. Okay. So it's all snowing outside, but the road is clear. And so some of you may ask, right? Is there any difference between driving winter conditions like this and driving in Malaysia? Well, in this kind of roads, right, where they actually clear off all the snow, is actually little to no difference on. But you do have to use winter tires because the temperatures of the road are much lower, and if you were to use summer tires, then the tires would be too cold to grip the roads effectively. All right, so when you have winter compound, winter tires are designed to be able to grip the road better when you are driving in lower temperatures. Now, the bigger challenge actually is not so much on the lack of grip, but rather the visibility, because your windscreen, all right, is liable to fogging up, and they fog up from the inside. So you actually have to constantly wipe the screen just to clear it so that you can see outside better, right? Yeah. Well, this is thick snow, man. Yeah. Okay, so now we are pushing the Peugeot, well, on this slightly curving road, but look at the scenery. This is the kind of scenery, right, that makes driving in Europe really something that you guys should experience, you know, everyone at least once in your lifetime. I mean, I've come to Europe a few times before on media drives, but this is actually my first time driving on snowy conditions like this. So it is new to me too, and thus far from here, I still feel that there is good traction from the chassis, but the real challenge actually is more visibility rather than outright grip. The tires right now is still providing a very good grip on the surface, so I don't feel any lack of stability with this car. It's just seeing out, that is a bit of a challenge because, you know, of all the fogging up of all the glass. Hey guys, I'm now at Hallstatt. Check out the view. It's snowing very heavily here, but it actually doesn't feel that cold despite the appearance. So guys, I'm walking in the town center of Hallstatt, and this place here is flooded with tourists from China and Korea. Now, this Hallstatt, right? Do you know that there is actually a chiplak version of Hallstatt in China. Okay, so yeah, China made an exact copy of Hallstatt, apparently complete with all the landmark buildings, right? But you see, most of the time when we say, "Oh, Chinese made the imitation one," right, everybody goes, flip their hands, flip table and all that. But the mayor of Hallstatt at the time, when he heard of this Chinese copy of his town, okay, not only was he not upset, he took the opportunity, all right, to endorse, so-called endorse that imitation Chinese Hallstatt, and with that, use that to make Hallstatt a global tourist attraction. And with all these tourists come into Hallstatt, then it contributed to the economy of this place. Brilliant, brilliant. Okay, so we are leaving Hallstatt and we are driving into this rather unique single lane tunnel. Right, the other direction, of course, there's another tunnel. I don't know why they separate the two tunnels, but can get a little claustrophobic here. So we've just exited the tunnel, and this road here, this should be very familiar to many of you, especially you movie buffs. Alright, this is, I think, quite a popular road for car chase scenes, right? I think there was one James Bond movie that used this road for a car chase scene. Check out this magnificent scenery that we are driving past. Hi guys, so this is just a quick exterior walk around of our Peugeot 208 rental car. Now, this is obviously a lower spec version to what you get in Malaysia. You still get halogen projector headlamps here with, yeah, it's been dirty. We've used it very extensively over the last few days. LED daytime running lights and position lamps. No alloy wheels, right? Side mirror mounted indicators. No keyless entry of course. Still start the car, enter and start the car the old-fashioned way. Come to the back, LED tail lights, not too bad. Fog lamps in the middle, and yeah. So this is the exterior of the car. Let's show you inside. Okay, yeah. So our car is manual transmission, and impressively enough, it actually has a touchscreen. Now, this center display here, it shows the digital speedometer, and in this car there's actually no way to change. They only offer the digital speedometer, the odometer, trip meter, that's it. Okay, if you want to see like info like what is your remaining range for your fuel, you press this button, it pops out here. Okay, so you can access various other functions, and say for example driving, this is where you switch on and off your traction control through the touch screen. And yeah, so let's run through here. 12-volt socket, USB port, compartment here, yeah, rental car, fabric upholstery in here. So okay lah, this car has went through 22,000 kilometers of rental use. Fit and finish still feels good, right? Ergonomics, typical Peugeot, a little bizarre. You can see this is the cruise control switch, right? You get steering mounted controls here, and climate control is manual, so manual blower adjustment, and you just set your heater or air conditioning to as hot or as cold as you need. Okay, no temperature control. Right. Yeah, I'm in downtown Vienna. Stopped at the traffic light. Right, and all right. So now the lights, the yellow lights just flashed, and on came the green light. So here in Vienna, right, and in a few places in Europe. Okay. Now in Malaysia, when it's red light, okay, the lights turn green immediately. Whereas here in Europe, the yellow light will flash first, and then only the green light comes on. Now, the usefulness of this, of course, is that here in Europe, most people still drive manual transmission, as like in the case of my rental car. So when you flash that yellow light, it is like a, you know, like to tell the people waited that, hey, it's time to engage first gear, get going. All right, so so when you see the lights turn yellow, that is when you engage first gear. Okay, or in the case of if your car has auto start stop, all right, that when the yellow light flashes on, it is time for you to gently release your brakes for the engine to fire up and get going. Now, there are a few things to watch out for when driving in here in Vienna. All right, downtown Vienna here, there are trams that you have to watch out for. There are pedestrian crossings, but I would say that the pedestrians here, they are pretty savvy. They don't take for granted the fact that you will stop for them, right? I've been to a number of other countries, Singapore and Australia especially. When you approach a zebra crossing, pedestrians just cross fully expecting you to stop. Here they don't. Here they watch out for you. So there's a lot of give and take here between the pedestrians and the motorists, as far as I can see. All right, but they are not very tolerant with speeding, so really got to watch your speed. This was stressed to me by my hosts here. So I mean, hey, watch the speed up, watch the speed up. Okay, yeah, okay, so the lights just turn yellow, green, and off I go. So so for the 3 or 4 days I had this car, we drove it to a quaint little town called Hallstatt. We drove this to Salzburg first, and then, you know, on our way back here from Salzburg, we also drove it through a town called Hallstatt. So we visited a few places, and yeah, I think this car really suited the brief, because some of the places that my wife wanted to see, we really had to squeeze through some thoroughly tight roads that, you know, you think streets in downtown KL are tight. They are not, man. They are not. Our streets have nothing when it comes to, you know, narrow spaces when you compare to some of the places here. Here in Vienna, it's considered quite, you know, quite open and all that, but some of the back alleys in Salzburg really narrow, and this is especially true. The older the city that you visit, the tighter the roads can be. So onto this car. In Malaysia, the Peugeot 208 was initially offered with a 1.6 liter NA engine. Then it got replaced with the 1.2 liter 3-cylinder PureTech turbo, all right, with about 110 horsepower. This version that I'm driving here, it also runs the 1.2 liter 3-cylinder, but without the turbo. So it has about 82 horsepower on tap. Thereabouts the performance you get from a 1.3 liter Myvi or Proton Saga back home. Yeah. So of course, if you were to pop the bonnet with the engine still running, you see the engine really shaking. And when you gun this on the highway, yeah, you can hear that it does sound like a bit like a lawnmower at times, but I would say that this engine, it is charming in the sense that it is willing, it is eager to rev, and I think Peugeot really did well with the NVH package of this car, because, you know, when I was trying to keep up with highway traffic, cruising at 130, 140 kilometers per hour, the engine was spinning at 4,000 RPMs, all right, in top gear, but there were barely any vibrations coming through from the engine. So I mean, we all know three-cylinder engines are not well known for their smoothness. So I think for Peugeot to achieve that level of perceived smoothness in this car, it shows that a lot of attention went to the deadening of sound and vibrations, coming from the powertrain. Yeah. Manual transmission, 5 speeds. Yeah, very short ratios. As I said earlier, 4,000 RPMs to pull 130 kilometers per hour. But that's typical of all these small engine cars, really, right? Because these engines don't have enough low end torque to sustain high speed cruising at low revs. I do like that, this gear change is pretty. The gates are pretty well defined. The throws are precise enough. All right. The only trouble with driving a manual here is that when you are wearing winter boots, yeah, heel and toe changes can be troublesome. But overall, the road manners of this car, especially on the highways, I was actually quite impressed, because the car felt planted, right? And when I was taking some of the winding roads near Salzburg and Hallstatt, the car actually, the chassis actually showed pretty good handling potential. It's just that the steering is light and a little lacking in communication, but nothing that would trouble any potential buyers, potential users of this class of car. And I suspect that most of the rental users of this car really won't mind that at all. So here we are on the Austrian Autobahn, right? Not the de-restricted German Autobahn, unfortunately. Here the speed limits enforcement is strict. The national speed limit here is about 130 kilometers per hour. They can have variable speed limit zones, like here suddenly becomes 80. There were stretches that went 100, but there were also stretches where they bump it up to 140. So I would say that I always say I prefer no speed limit at all, but 130, 140 speed limit definitely beats 110 Vila. One thing about driving here in Europe is that highway etiquette is very, very good. People don't hog the overtaking lanes, right? From far, if people see that you are coming, they will just move away from you. And motorists who are driving in the slow lane, when they approach, a merging lane up ahead, let's say like further ahead, they know that there is a ramp coming down where cars are entering the highway. They will just move aside to the middle lane to give room to the other motorists to come in, right? So that is very, very good. So overall, right, the drivers here are very proactive. They keep an eye out for each other. They don't seem to drive with much anger. I have not been, I never gonna horn or I gonna flash highlight once, but that's about it. Compared to what we get back home, the driving culture here is significantly more pleasant. All right, so just before I return the rental car, need to refuel it. So I'm on Waze looking for a petrol station, and the nearest one is, well, there are a few nearby lah. Okay, and you see, look at the displays. They actually show Waze actually gives you the recent pricing of fuel at these various stations. So here, let's say I'm going to this Jet. So so people actually here in Europe, you can actually update fuel prices on Waze. Brilliant, right? All right, guys. So something I just discovered. Now, when you refuel your 208, this is how you do it. Put the key in, twist out the cap, petrol cap. So what do you do with the petrol cap? Gonna put it here? No. This is a little nice touch. You can actually hang it like this and put a fuel gun in. Okay guys, so I've just refueled the car. Did 470 kilometers since my last fuel, and the fuel tank took in 25 liters on the dot. So that converts to about 6.1 liters per 100 kilometer. My earlier tank, I refueled 36 liters for 450 kilometers. So that converts to about that was about what, 7 something liters per 100 kilometers. So wow, this car is actually pretty fuel efficient. And our rental car, all right, the operator of this place was kind enough to send me to a nearby train station from which I can take the train back to the city to rejoin my family.